Elias Finch had always been a man of precision, just like the clocks that lined his dimly lit shop. His hands, though weathered with age, never faltered as they delicately maneuvered the gears and springs of the intricate mechanisms. For years, the town relied on Elias to keep their days running smoothly. Every clock in every home, shop, and street corner was his handiwork, a testament to his mastery. But beneath his quiet exterior, there lay a secret, one buried in time itself. Clara, a curious young woman with a knack for mechanics, had come to apprentice under Elias. She admired his craftsmanship and longed to learn from him. The small village she grew up in had always considered the old clockmaker to be a kind, if somewhat distant, figure. But something about the shadows that seemed to linger in his eyes intrigued her. As weeks passed, Clara noticed Elias spending more time locked away in the back room of his shop, a room he had strictly forbidden her from entering. One evening, after Elias had retired to his cottage, Clara found herself alone in the shop. A strange ticking sound echoed through the walls, one that didn't match the rhythm of any of the clocks she'd come to know. Her curiosity getting the better of her, she moved toward the door to the forbidden room. It was slightly ajar, and with a deep breath she pushed it open. The room inside was unlike anything Clara had ever seen. The walls were covered in blueprints and sketches of clocks. No, not just clocks, but strange devices that seemed to merge timekeeping with something far more mysterious. In the center of the room stood a large, ornately designed clock, its face covered in symbols rather than numbers. It ticked steadily, but its hands moved erratically, sometimes forward, sometimes backward. On a cluttered desk, Clara found Elias's journals. Flipping through the pages, she uncovered a startling revelation. Elias had not just been a clockmaker. He had been a part of a secret society of craftsmen who believed in the manipulation of time. They had built clocks that could not only keep time but control it. This particular clock, the one Elias had been working on for years, was the culmination of their work, an object capable of bending time to its will. Clara's hands trembled as she read Elias's entries about the clock's creation. It could pause moments, rewind days, and even, if one was daring enough, alter the course of history. But there was a reason the society had disbanded, why Elias had fled and hidden himself away in the village. The clock, if misused, could cause ripples in time that would be impossible to control. The fabric of reality itself could unravel. As Clara stared at the strange clock, a terrifying thought crept into her mind. What if Elias had been using it? What if the perfect timing of the village, the way everything seemed to run like clockwork, wasn't natural at all, but a carefully controlled illusion? What if Elias had been altering their lives without them ever knowing? The sound of footsteps behind her jolted Clara from her thoughts. She turned to find Elias standing in the doorway, his face shadowed in the dim light. "You shouldn't have come in here, Clara," he said softly, though his voice carried the weight of years of secrets. "Why didn't you tell me?" Clara whispered, clutching the journal. "You've been controlling time." Elias sighed, stepping into the room. "Not controlling," he corrected. "Guiding, protecting. The world is fragile, Clara. I've spent my life making sure it didn't break." "But at what cost?" she asked. "This power, it's dangerous. You can't keep manipulating time like this." Elias's gaze fell on the clock, its erratic hands still moving. "I know," he murmured. "I've been trying to destroy it for years, but it's not that simple. Time doesn't want to be tamed. Once you meddle with it, it fights back." Clara felt a chill run down her spine. "What do we do?" Elias looked at her, his eyes filled with a sorrow she hadn't seen before. "We fix it, together. But it may mean undoing everything. The town, the people's lives, all of it might change." Clara hesitated, the weight of the decision settling in her chest. Could they really reset time? What would become of them? Of everything they knew? But as the strange ticking of the clock filled the room, Clara knew there was no other choice. If they didn't fix what Elias had broken, time itself might unravel beyond repair. Together, they set to work, dismantling the clock that had controlled their world for so long. But as the final gear clicked into place and the clock wound down, Clara felt a shift in the air, as though the world was holding its breath. And then, in a moment as fleeting as the tick of a second hand, everything changed. The village awoke to a new dawn, unaware of the threads of time that had been rewoven in the night. To them, the clockmaker's shop was just an ordinary place, and Elias Finch was simply the kind old man who kept their days running on time. But Clara remembered. She remembered the secrets of time, the power it held, and the quiet sacrifice they had made to set things right. And somewhere, in the deepest recesses of her mind, she knew that time would always keep its secrets, waiting for the next clockmaker to come along and try to unlock them.